Oh yes, we're back. We're back, guys. We are back. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Guys, you walk in. Please make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And of course, our apology for yesterday. Yesterday we didn't go live yesterday because we had something that important that came up. However, we are live today. That being said, thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio. Hakeem, Jordan, what's cracking like it? What's cracking like it? What's cracking like it?
Man, we just living in God's grace.
Absolutely, man. Today's Friday, so we about to get down. We about to freestyle it up. So, hey, man, let's get to it. So, let's go, let's get it.
Like Jordan stated, it is Freestyle Friday. Like always, shout out to those watching us on Instagram, Facebook, Kick, and also Twitch. Guys, make sure you follow. Follow so very important for you guys to follow so you never miss it when we go live. Shout out to those watching us on Rumble and also X. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this Freestyle Friday. It is Freestyle Friday, so you know how things go. Anything goes, so we're about to head on to it. So, Jordan, what's happening? What's going on with that team gunned down after a fake Uber East? What's going on over there, big dog?
Yeah. So this was so tragic news. Happened in city. What city was this? Boy, I had it. But yeah, so this was a terrible thing happened early this week of a teenager. He got gunned down outside while there was the shooters was luring him outside of Uber Eats, and he was tragically shot and killed by these shooters, which is very very sad. So go ahead, I can't play the clip, and after that we'll chop it up.
Delivery person. She says when Martino Allen opened his door here at the Legacy Ridge Apartments, he was met by a barrage of bullets. That was the sound of gunfire that Tiffany Fuller says ended her 18-year-old son's life.
They killed my baby for no reason.
She says the bullets also ended Martino Allen's dreams.
My baby just went to the Bronx.
Fuller says her son was in his apartment with his brother and friends around 10 Monday night.
One knocked on the door and said Uber Eats, and when my son opened the door, they just started shooting him.
Neighbors at the Legacy Ridge apartment shared video of people in hoods and masks headed towards Martino's apartment right before the shots.
One on had on a red ski mask, and one on had on a hoodie, and one didn't have nothing on.
Fuller says only her son stayed in the apartment until police arrived. Do you think he was set up?
Yes, he was set up. Yes, he was. This is completely broken my family half.
Kamaya Fuller says her brother was the sweetest person, someone who just had a great time at the prom and was looking forward to graduating from McNair High. She won't rest until her brother's killers are caught.
If you know something, please say something. This could be your child.
And Union City Police told me they are actively investigating this case. They say they have that video of the three men, but they did not want to say much more.
Here we go. So yeah, man, this is very tragic to hear, and yeah, man, it's sad to see an 18-year-old about to graduate and he got shot down like that. So go ahead, Ronnie, man, what's your take?
Nobody's not gonna say anything. This is the part of one of the part of the black culture. Don't snitch. We have a no snitching policy, so nobody want to snitch, especially when it comes to something like that, because people are afraid, or they just simply don't care. Now, when this comes with the aspect of this young man who just graduated high school, it is sad and it's unfortunate. This continues to happen in our community, in the black community, a lot, and the only way things will change when people will start speaking them and start speaking about it. That's the only way gun violence will stop in the black community. If not, it's gonna be an ongoing thing for the next 20 and 50 years. Go right ahead, I King.
A lot of it is culture, man. And I want people to just understand, like, this is not nothing random. Um, we as a culture promote this YN type lifestyle. And I'm not going to judge the young man, but he does have gold teeth in his mouth. And I know a lot of people might say, oh, that's the style or stuff like this. But sometimes if you look like a target, you become a target. And I'm sorry for the loss of these people, but We have to understand, like, we living in the last days.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, I don't like what we try. I don't know really the details and everything. We don't know what he was involved in anything like that. Maybe he was involved in something that he got to something at school, probably outside. We don't know, but it's just sad to see it has an ends to gun violence stuff taking a young man's life, which is not cool, because he has a lot of life to live, and it should never go down like that, and it's very sad to hear something like that. But prayer goes out to the family, the friends, and yeah, man, just tired of seeing stuff like this.
But shout out to Wild High is also in the building, and the lovely Bobby Brown's also in the building too. This is how things is, man. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side so you never miss it when we go live. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in, watching us all across the board. We really do greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Freestyle Friday. Moving along. So Jordan, Dick's Sporting Goods buys Foot Locker.
Yes, absolutely. So yesterday, Dick's Sporting Goods finally bought out their competitor Foot Locker on a $2.4 billion deal. This is it does definitely cuts down, to Dick's Sporting Goods as being the number one when it comes to sports and shoes and everything, and they decided to buy them out, which is it's a good thing for Dick's Sporting Goods. So go ahead, clean, play the clip, and after that we'll chop it up.
Guest, I should say, says the deal makes sense, though, from a strategic standpoint and could significantly increase Dick's buying power in the market. Uh-oh, don't let the regulators hear. Let's bring in Michael Baker. He's senior research analyst at D.A. Davidson. Michael, welcome. So you would be, quote-unquote, a buyer here of the sell-off.
Oh, we would be, yeah. And I get why the stock is down. This does increase some execution risk, and it takes what was a very clean story in Dick's and muddies it a little bit in the short term. But when we step back and look at it from the bigger picture, we really like what we're seeing here. It actually reminds me of maybe even 20 years ago, Dick's bought Golf Galaxy, and it really gave him a bigger seat at the table in the golf business. It was initially thought of as a bad deal. But what happened is every golf vendor needed to, then come to Dick's and work with Dick's to put better product in and get better pricing, et cetera. And it really helped Dick's golf business. And we sort of see the same thing happening in the footwear business. Dick's is already very strong in footwear, but they're that much stronger now and push that much of a bigger pencil with vendors now.
I love this point because this makes sense to me. A lot of people are going, why do they want them all? Foot Locker's been struggling. It isn't 20 years ago. But when you say power over suppliers, I immediately go, yeah, no, I get it.
Right, and that's been a key part of the story for Dick's over time. Anyway, their percent of Nike's North American wholesale business has gone from about 7 or 8% to closer to 18% over the last 10 years. They're basically even with Foot Locker now, both at about 17 or 18%. But now combined, that means Dick's is a full 35, 36% of Nike's wholesale business. Nike was important to Dick's, but Dick's is now that much more important for Nike. And it is a partnership. They try not to be adversarial with each other, but any move that Nike wants to do in terms of a turnaround in the U.S. has got to involve Dick's now.
Can't believe I would ask this question, but would there ever be antitrust concerns if they have 40% of the market? Look, it's not 50. But I don't know, if the price of sneakers is going up anyway because of tariffs, Nike's in the middle of a turnaround, could this come back to haunt them?
Well, they don't have 40% of the market. Their market share combined is much smaller than that,
right.
Less than 30, maybe even as low as 10. It all depends on how the market is defined by the FTC, and that you never really know. But they do have 35 to 36% of Nike's wholesale business. It's
right.
Different than the overall market. In terms of FTC risk, we don't really see it because we don't think they have that much market share. But again, we've been surprised by some of the FTC rulings in the past. It all depends on how they define the market. And that certainly is a risk here. Again, we don't see it as a high risk, but it's greater than zero.
No, it's it's almost a joke, except that it's not. Because, again, when you stop a handbag merger, you go, I guess it's time to consider every possible merger that takes place in the space. So we had Skechers go private a few weeks ago. They were obviously hit hard by tariffs, opportunistic move by management there. Now we have Foot Locker. Again, $24 a share is not even the 52-week high. they're being taken out by Dick's. Where else might we start to see this kind of action across the space?
Well, yeah, and you said it before the break. Dick's stock has been up, 1,000% since the pandemic. Foot Locker stock has languished. There are a lot of assets out there that the stock price has languished, and that does create opportunities. Not in a position to sort of suggest to anyone in particular, but I do think you could see more of this M&A activity with some of the valuations, much more compressed, particularly companies with strong balance sheets. Dick's has $1.7 billion in cash, no debt. That cash just on the balance sheet almost covers this deal. So they're in a strong position to be able to do something like this. And there are a lot of retailers out there who have done well, others that haven't done well, and stock prices are languishing. So that could set up for some M&A activity.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the late.
Yeah, so this is a big thing when it comes to Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods is really gonna change the game by buying out Foot Locker. So go ahead, Ronnie. Do you like this move what Dick's Sporting Goods did? Oh, you're on mute.
Dick's Sporting Goods is a well variety of corporations. So now I'm having Foot Locker is gonna pretty much bring a different quality of people to Foot Locker. Right now, Foot Locker been going down for a very long time because remember they were banning against Amazon, banning against eBay, and all these other StockX, all these shoe stores that were pretty much selling shoes for lower prices. So people was going there, especially when it comes to aspect of exclusive shoes. So now them being together with Dick's Sporting Goods, because Dick's Sporting Goods is a well-known corporation, it's going to bring a different customer to Foot Locker. So it's good that Foot Locker is not going to be no longer non-existent. So it seems like they're going to be stronger than ever before. I'm just going to be surprised if they're going to end up changing the name, and or they're going to keep the name as Foot Locker. That's the only thing I want to know about. But go ahead, Hakeem, your thoughts.
This actually was one of the this is actually one of the companies that I wish I invested in. I've seen them moving towards this, and I said, hey, this might be something to invest, because they sell Nikes over there. They sell Air Force Ones. And I was hearing different people talk about it. And I was like, at the place where they sell fishing rods, I'm like, yeah. So this was a power play. So they're understanding the market. They see how the trends are going. Foot Locker was struggling. If anybody hasn't been to a Foot Locker recently, they started to like wholesale shoes in there. The prices are like dirt cheap, but like some of the big ticket item shoes, they have less and less of them now. It's not really how it used to be. So this was from a financial point, a wonderful deal.
Yeah, for me, I definitely love this deal for Dick's Sporting Goods and definitely for Foot Locker. I could see, in the next six months to 6 years, I could definitely see Dick's Sporting Goods can help revamp or reshape Foot Locker when it comes to adding some things into their stores, like probably more apparel into the stores and everything. I like how it definitely has something to do with about being that with the tariffs and everything, being terror prone and everything. That has something to do with it. I think that helps saves. Here you go. That definitely helps Foot Locker and everything. And so yeah, this is a big move for Dick's Sporting Goods. I don't know. We'll see if they will combine their stocks yet. They haven't done that yet, but yeah, this is right. I think this is a good direction for Foot Locker to get bought out, and I definitely see Dick's Sport. I mean, Foot Locker will keep definitely keep the names and everything, definitely keep the stores out and everything. But I definitely think this score was definitely going to change some things to make Foot Locker better.
Like that, but shout out to everybody watching all those calling board. Why I say that there's not enough money in the economy to support all the retailers. That's a fact. And that's why a lot of these companies are starting to merge together as one. You even see Capital One and Discover merge together as one. It's happening. It's happening. They starting to realize that, hey, I think we better together than better apart. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side so you never miss it when we go live. Shout out to all the new subscribers, all the new listeners that's watching us all across the board, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and also Twitch. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. on this Freestyle Friday. Shout out to American Trader Man. Thank you so much for being here. We really do greatly appreciate you. Moving along, Jordan, what's going on with Chris Brown? He's arrested in the UK?
Yeah, man. So this was breaking news yesterday. So Chris Brown was arrested in London for something that from assault charge that happened back in 2023, and so now what happened? The assault happened in 2023. Apparently, I guess somebody pressed charges and he was still at large. So once he had returned to London for a tour, he got arrested, and now he's still held to custody until his next court date, which is in June. So he's going to be in there for a minute. So go ahead, Kim, go ahead, play the clip, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Trouble overseas. A UK judge just ordered the 36-year-old to stay in British custody on a charge of causing grievous bodily harm. He's accused of attacking a music producer in a London nightclub. Let's bring in ABC's Lama Hassan in London for more. Lama, what's the latest on these charges against Chris Brown?
Yeah, hey Diane, what we know is that Chris Brown was arrested in the early hours of Thursday morning at his hotel in Manchester in northern England. The Metropolitan Police released a statement late last night saying that after an investigation by detectives, they're charging him with, as you said, grievous bodily harm with intent. Now, this charge relates to an alleged assault that dates back to February 2023 after he allegedly attacked a music producer with a bottle at a nightclub in London. It was described as an unprovoked attack in which the producer was struck several times with a bottle. Brown then allegedly pursued him to another area of the nightclub where the victim was punched and kicked repeatedly. Now, in the hearing today, which lasted about 30 minutes, bail was denied, the judge saying that the offense was a serious one, and she reportedly deemed him a flight risk, even though his lawyer tried to argue that he's a public figure and he's followed by photographers, and so essentially his every move would be well documented. Now, in terms of what happens next, the judge ordered him to appear at Southwark Crown Court here in London on June 13th, which means that he remains in custody until then. And just a reminder, Diane, that Brown was meant to be kicking off his tour on June 8th. Diane?
All right, Lama Hassan, thank you.
Oh man, Chris Brown, bro.
Man, that's crazy, man. Stuff that happened 2 years ago came right back to haunt him. So go ahead, man, Roddy, man. This is crazy. But what's your take on it?
This is not even crazy. This is major. Cause ain't Chris Brown still on tour? So that ain't he still on tour? So I think his tour is canceled until he get this resolved. And I know in the back of his, I know he kicking himself in the back of his head. Said, "Man, I made a terrible mistake." Because keeping in mind, his tour. Remember, his tour is where most artists make their money is off their tours. So him being paused right now to deal with this allegations, I know his mind's like, what? But these artists gotta be careful. When you're in these foreign lands, you just can't do whatever you want to do because their laws and their rules and regulation would get you into some serious trouble to the point that you in there for a very long time. Look what happened with Andrew Tate. You saw what happened with him. He was in Romania for a very long time. So you gotta be careful, man. Hopefully Chris Brown overcome this. Hopefully he's able to settle this in court so you won't have to prolong this because he's actually on tour. But I think his lawyer team is probably working in like, hey, they'll find some form of settlement. Go right ahead, Akeem. Your thoughts.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I do think that you got to respect people's sovereignty and their lands and the laws. The way you can beat up on paparazzi in America, you can't do that in the UK. And I think, people got to understand something, but he's not the first nor the last recording artist that hasn't been to either UK, Canada, and started some type of mess or try to exercise their American rights. You know what I mean? The difference is I could see him getting banned from the UK like they banned people from Canada. Remember, it took Snoop Dogg almost 20 years to get back into the UK.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. That's a good point on there, Hakeem. Yeah, man. It's just I remember hearing this about this before about this certain situation happened on TMZ, but I thought it will go to an extreme that now that he went back, he got arrested and everything. But when it comes to other countries, they might take stuff a little bit more seriously than America does. America doing everything. You got to watch out for that. I'm sad to see Chris Brown, get arrested at the time that his tour is going to start. So, for what I'm seeing right now, it comes by his tour cancellations. So right now they feel like, the shows that he's going to perform before the 13th, he definitely probably have to cancel and everything. And hopefully, he can, when it comes to, his next court date in June, he get out as possible and still charge tour dates, because, he has, because it's not just him on tour, he has other people that's in his tour too. I think it's Bryson Tiller or somebody else as well. That's gonna be in the tour. So isn't he not just messing up his money? He messes up other artists' money that's toured with him as well. So I know Chris Brown's feeling terrible about that. That this has come up and he can't tour yet until he gets out and everything. So this Chris Brown, he's been doing better and everything about being out of jail and everything, trying to be out of that life. But, he just got to be more aware, more prepared, and keep practicing self-control so situations like this won't happen. But, yeah, I just hope that he gets out eventually and he gets back on tour and he can, celebrate all his fans and everything.
Like that, but no chance to say that. I said, I thought these celebrities have securities. They do. But the thing with the situation what happened with Chris Brown is pretty much it was a music producer. Allegedly, it was a music producer that he hit with the bottle. Allegedly, they hit with the bottle. It wasn't like a regular person. So it probably why they was on tour. You know how they normally go to nightclub doing appearances. He probably with the producer right next to him. Probably said something foul to Chris Brown. He didn't like him, and allegedly he probably just hit him with the bottle. Allegedly, remember he's still innocent until proven guilty. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side so you never miss it when we go live. Shout out to our 150 people watching us right now all across the board. We really do greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in on this lovely Freestyle Friday. Moving along, join into sports. Oh man, everybody know the Knicks and Boston about to get ready to play. Everybody's excited about that game. However, we're not talking about that. Go ahead, Jordan. What's going on in the sports, big dog?
Yeah, so we had talked about last couple of shows about NFL schedules came out, right? So the Indianapolis Colts has made a video about the schedule and everything of what they're gonna play this year, and they kind of made fun of Tyreek Hill of what happened to him last year of him being arrested and everything, and it got so viral and everything that they had to take the video down, and they also not just that, they also issued an apology of Tyreek Hill of not putting him on this video that show him it's like a cartoonish type of a little video of teams they were playing, and they show Tyreek Hill getting arrested in a way and in the water and everything because he's a Dolphin, and they took it down and immediately apologized to Tyreek Hill. So go ahead, Hakeem, play the clip, and then after that we'll chop it up.
Apologizing for that video that was posted on the team's social media accounts last night.
It depicted the Colts' 2025 season, and it's since been deleted. Samantha Johnson's here now after watching that video. So what's the deal here, Sam?
Well, we will show you part of that video in just a moment, but we know these schedule releases, they are a big deal for these teams. We know the franchises go all out. It's really a Super Bowl for their creative teams, but some say the Colts went a little too far this year. This video starts as a Minecraft-inspired simulation taking players through each week of the new Colts schedule. Take a look. When Colts fans click See the Schedule and the simulation video loads to 100%, we see the Colts Week 1 matchup against the Miami Dolphins. A Dolphin character with the name Hill above it is stopped by the Coast Guard, sirens on. The Dolphin in the number 10 jersey depicts wide receiver Tyreek Hill, who last year was stopped by police and handcuffed outside Hard Rock Stadium. Hill's traffic citations for careless driving and failing to wear a seatbelt were later dismissed.
That is not a laughing matter, really, in this country.
Jake Arthur with the Locked On Colts podcast giving me his reaction to this Minecraft-like video.
I think a lot of the video was entertaining, but that portion of it in particular was probably something they needed to do away with.
They could be seen as willfully infringing on trademarks and copyright infringement with these types of videos that they're releasing. So they could be facing hundreds of thousands of dollars, even if there aren't real damages.
Even though the video was deleted, it's still all over social media.
It certainly adds more flavor to Week 1 on September 7th, that's for sure.
On Thursday, Hill responded to the viral oops by saying on X, quote, "Shoulda left it up, Colts. This was funny." The Colts, however, issued a statement of their own, saying, quote, "We removed our schedule release video because it exceeded our rights with Microsoft and included an insensitive clip involving Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. We sincerely apologize to Microsoft and Tyreek." Okay, there you have it. Now, Tyreek Hill wasn't the only player targeted in this video. There's also a clip of Tennessee quarterback Will Levis getting run over by a party bus on Broadway Street in Nashville.
Yeah, I saw the clip and I liked it. I ain't had no problem.
Know what I'm saying? Tyreek like it. Tyreek likes it.
Hey,
What's the issue?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Ronnie, man. Do you think the coach should have left it on there, or
it's gonna make people want to watch it. Now you're gonna also bring new audience with little kids because they're gonna see the video. They're gonna laugh. They're gonna want to see the game. So I don't know why they took it down for. I think the problem is with today's culture, we are too sensitive on certain topics and we can't make fun of certain things. I think that's why South Park been around so long, because they make fun of certain things. And people go and laugh. It's not that serious. It's a joke. But however, it's because of the time and the time and age we're living in today that people are taking a lot of stuff sensitive. A lot of people are too mostly involved in certain things. But Tyreek ain't have a problem with it. Microsoft ain't have a problem with it. Coaches just left it up. Go right ahead.
No, you're 100% right. I think I forgot who said this. What comedian? I think a lot of comedians have said that we're in a very sensitive generation. Everything is taken to be offensive. Everything is taken to be racial. Everything is taken to be bigotry. Talking about sexuality. But sometimes we can't even be funny without it. It depicts a dolphin and the Coast Guard behind it. That's so funny. Had nothing to do with no police putting a billy club over the head or anything like that. So, hey man, I think we just need to and listen. Look at why I said the media is making men sound weak.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, should have just left it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for me, this to me, this is concept of, hey, this might spark a little bit of rivalry. Maybe Tyreek Hill see some stuff like, okay, I can't wait to play y'all, so I might run over 100 yards and put a touchdown or two up and like that. So yeah, man, this like I said, this I have no problem with this. And he was close, they was being too sensitive. They feel like they was gonna get some get fined about anything like that. No, not at all. When I saw the video, I thought it was funny, and and no problem whatsoever. But yeah, it's just the sensitivity of the thing, and that's just crazy. I see nothing sensitive about it. It was a team was making fun of somebody, which that happened last year. When it literally happened, and Tyreek Hill, he had no problem with it and everything. So I just wish that our first thought about putting something out. It's like, oh, I mean, not the first thought, but put something out and they got to take it out because, it might be insistent and everything, which is never the case and everything. So I wish more NFL teams would do stuff like this because it brings, the fans, say, hey, I can't wait, till this game's come up. Also, the NFL players, they'll get routed and everything. And to me, this is football. We like to see stuff like this. It shouldn't be a problem. And hopefully, hopefully another teams do that. Hopefully the Miami Dolphins do something to the Indianapolis Colts to make some video like that, and they might go viral and everything. But yeah, man, this is just weird, and it's just soft. And I miss the old days where we could do stuff like this, and it's not a problem. We just laugh about it.
No, but why? This don't really have anything to do with women in sports media. They came from the aspect of, I think it was the man that took it down. I don't think it was the women that took it down. It was the man.
What happened?
He said this is what happened when too many women in sports media. I say no, man. That was why you tripping on that one, man. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side so you never miss it. I love to everybody that's watching us all across the board. We really do. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Freestyle Friday. Moving along, hip hop. Yes, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Go ahead, Jordan. What's going on with YG in the hip hop world?
What's wrong? Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Family do this. So go ahead, Hakeem. Go ahead and play a soundbite where YG talks about his past sex as a young
Okay.
boy. Go right ahead. Play that clip.
It's a topic that's rarely talked about, especially in rap music. But Compton-born and raised artist YG is now opening up about his experience with sexual assault when he was just a teenager. The revelation comes in his new single called 2004. The lyrics are vulnerable, uncomfortable, and mostly honest. The rapper sat down exclusively with our Roxy Diaz this Mental Health Awareness Month to discuss how he turned that painful memory into music and his public transformation as he breaks free from the box he says society placed him in.
Hitmaker and storyteller, Grammy-nominated rapper YG burst on the scene 15 years ago, since dropping iconic songs like Who Do You Love? And Big Bank. But on his latest single, 2004, the California-born and raised artist is getting more real, raw, and vulnerable than ever, rapping about something rarely talked about in hip-hop.
Got took advantage of, and I liked it, so what? Y'all call that sex abuse? I just thought she was doing some cool.
So you just recently came out with a song, 2004, where you discuss some very personal experiences. You say that you were sexually assaulted as a child by an older woman. What prompted you to start speaking about that?
I'm going through this coming of age. Like, I'm in this new space in my life, and I'm like, all right, how this gonna reflect with the music?
In 2004, Kenan Daquan Ray Jackson, known by his stage name YG, reveals for the first time that he was sexually abused by a 30-year-old woman when he was 14 years old.
I'm in the studio, a producer named Jay Pounds. He like, yeah, so you gotta talk about something you ain't never talked about. You gotta dig deep. He like, yeah, what's something that you ain't never told nobody that don't nobody know? And then the beat was playing, and I was like,
when I was young, I got raped.
And then I was like, Bob, twice my age. And everybody was like, what?
At what age did you comprehend that what happened to you was sexual assault?
When it happened, like, I wasn't thinking about it, or like, it wasn't like a thing like that. It was like, oh, I just did some with an older woman, like, it's lit, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then as you grow up and then you start thinking about, you go through life and you see stuff and learn stuff. It's like, no, that was, man, I got raped.
In 2012, the Department of Justice redefined the criminal definition of rape for the first time since 1927 to include male victims, including those unable to give consent due to age. Studies have found 1 in 20 boys under the age of 18 experience sexual assault. And of those reported to police, 93% of predators were known to the victim.
Like, everybody got their story, and it's just, that's why I made the record, to influence people to tell their stories, you know what I'm saying? Especially like coming from an artist, somebody like me, is unexpected.
YG, short for Young Gangsta, hails from Compton, where he joined a gang at 16, a reality he doesn't shy away from in his music.
People put me in the box. They know us as gang members and we from the streets and all this, you feel me? So they look at us like oh, we gang members, we animals, we not human, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, bro, I'm human. I go through real life stuff outside of the street stuff.
As a child, was there an adult that you ever opened up to, that you told what happened to you? Did you feel comfortable enough to say that to an adult, or did you keep it inside for a long time?
I kept it inside. My family, first time hearing about that was when the record came out.
Wow.
Yeah.
YG says he shared the song with other men. He was surprised to hear their reaction.
Because 90% of the people I played it for, the males, they all got similar stories. That was the conversation everybody was having. It was like, yeah, like, I was sexually abused. And it's like, yeah, but for us, we men, so it ain't treated the same way.
He hopes he can use his platform to break the silence around the issue of sexual abuse of young men and shift the narrative.
I hope that you realize how strong that message is that you put out there and how you gave other people courage to be able to speak up and say it's okay because YG went through it. Maybe it wasn't okay. You know, I could tell an adult. I hope you know that power because that's really a big deal.
YG believes his upcoming album, The Gentleman's Club, dropping this summer, will bring a new era in his career, humanizing him.
People say I live crazy, like I live like a wild life, dangerous life or whatever. Like I talk about that and I give it to you straight like that. You know what I'm saying? That been my thing. So now me going through this growing stage of my life, it ain't hard for me because it's like I'm telling my truth. It is what it is.
The intention of this album is to mark a new chapter, one of growth and reflection. YG, now 35, is a father of 2 girls who keep him centered and focused.
It's a real thing.
It's a conscious effort.
It's full circle, like the whole life. Like in March, I just got baptized with my kids, or with my family. My kids requested it. My oldest daughter, she requested it, and I was just like, what? That's crazy. She 9.
YG also finding ways to stay grounded in his work by focusing on mental health.
So yeah, so I'm proud of seeing, you know, YG coming out about, you know, something that happened to his past, and you can definitely talk about, share it to the world about, you know, what men go through when they're teenagers or to a kid. So go ahead, Roddy, what's your take on this?
Yeah, he took a leap of faith and want to share his story. So he want to bring a sense of awareness because it does happen when it comes to aspect of young boys a lot, and a lot of people not speaking about it. So he want to be the pretty much the image of it and let people know that okay, this is what's going on, especially in the aspect of the community, and we need to change it. And I agree with him 110%. But he took a leap of faith because you know Kanye West did the same thing. You saw his backlash. So everybody have a story to tell. It's up to you if you want to tell that story. Go ahead, I can.
Ron, you're 100% right. I do think now this is the age when men can now be expressive, when men can now tell their feelings, when men can now come from the shadows to echo the pains that we've been talked about in the dark. This is the time where we can feel comfortable to speak our minds and not being ostracized or being criticized or this thing, oh, don't act soft, or that ain't enough. You should be happy that you got some. This is that time to say that, hey, I'm a victim as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm like I said, I'm proud of YG to coming out and talk about stuff like this. And I wish that we see more rappers can take that leap of faith of talk about, you know, if something happens to them where there was a child and everything, because you know it's definitely important, you know, for men to really have these conversations about this and not just hold it in, you know, all the way till you pass away and everything, and think it's not okay because you know it's definitely trauma based. You know, it can mess with you once you get to your 20s and 30s and 40s and everything, and you don't think you don't know what's wrong with you, and it can come to all the way what happened to you back when you know what happened to YG. That hey, you know this happened to me, it's, and it affects me to this day and everything. So I'm pretty sure that you know he's getting therapy on the situation that happened to him, and I just hope that you know with the single that he comes out that a lot of people can listen to it and really understand that hey, you know, if you had something happen to you in your younger age, you know, don't be afraid to talk about you know, to your parents or find another therapist, really talk about it and you know, try to address it and everything and learn how to heal from it as well.
Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side so you never miss it when we go live. Shout out to everybody watching us all across the board. Over 200 people watching us entirety. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this Freestyle Friday. No Chase said, look, a lot of this is true that little boys get touched on as a child. That's a fact. Even though it's a woman, it's still SA. Doesn't matter. If they're a little child, that woman is still a predator. Doesn't matter what age it is. Doesn't matter. I want people to make that clear because some people are like, oh, it's a woman, so it's okay. No, it's not okay. It is not okay. And we need to bring more sense of awareness when it comes to aspect of that. Moving along, you already know day 5. Jordan, Diddy trial. What's going on with that, big dog?
All right, so I got some lot of stuff to pack in with y'all. So people, so I want you to listen real carefully. So today was the last day of Cassie cross-examination, and then also they had Dar Richards to testify. So from what Cassie was doing her final examination, she talked about how she after she got a settlement from Diddy. She also reached that the couple days after she reached a settlement deal for the Intercontinental Hotel, in which that video that we saw of Cassie Diddy was abusing Cassie at the time. She had reached a settlement for the same hotel. Also, she also said that when it comes to if she loves or hate Diddy, she says that I have love for the past and what it was. Meaning that, the relationship that she had with Diddy, it was all love and everything, even though, it was, abuse and free calls and everything. She's saying that there's been some memories that she missed, that she loved and everything. So it's kind of saying like low key, she still has some love with Diddy, but she didn't say that, with her words and everything. Also, in the cross examination, we also found out that Cassie told Diddy that I'm lost without you when she was dating dating her husband Alex, and also Cassie had cheated on her husband, I think boyfriend at the time, with Diddy because Cassie, even though she was with Alex at the time, she still would mess around with Diddy for a little bit and everything.
Oh, really? So she was messy. She was
yes.
messy.
And also, you guys, I want to say this too. Yesterday that this was from yesterday, and also when I was still cross camera yesterday, Diddy's defense attorney has found a bunch of text messages from years of text messages. How Cassie was down with the freak offs and everything. How she was really she was really the victim of it. She has some accountability of being in the freak offs. So not only that Diddy was cool with the freak offs, so was Cassie. So and it shows like a whole bunch of text messages how freaky nasty she text Diddy about be prepared for the freak offs, do all type of positions and everything like that. And then also we're done with Cassie. Now going to Dar Richards and everything, and also the prosecutor is talking to Dar Richards. She has said that she has saw times and times of Diddy abusing Cassie, and the reason that she didn't say anything to nobody is is because she felt fear her life that something will happen to her. So that's what I got from Don Richards. I feel so that's what I got from Don. So she's still gonna be testified for probably Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday because the prosecutor still got to ask her questions, and then also the Diddy's defense attorney got to cross-examine her as well. So and then after that, I think they have another person coming through, and the rumor is that the prosecutor might bring in Aubrey O'Day, the other former member from Diddy came. So there's rumor that after they're done with Don Richards, they're gonna bring Aubrey O'Day. So Hakeem, I do have 2 videos from you. I have the one with Cassie attorney speaks, and then also Don Richards going into the courtroom to testify.
All right.
This week has been extremely challenging, but also remarkably empowering and healing for me. I hope that my testimony has given strength and a voice to other survivors and can help others who have suffered to speak up and also heal from abuse and fear. For me, the more I heal, the more I can remember. And the more I can remember, the more I will never forget. I want to thank my family and my advocates for their unwavering support, and I'm grateful for all the kindness and encouragement that I have received. I'm glad to put this chapter of my life to rest, As I turned to focus on the conclusion of my pregnancy, I asked for privacy for me and for my growing family. Over the past 5 days, the world has gotten to witness the strength and bravery of my wife freeing herself of her past. There has been speculation online surrounding how it must feel for me to sit there and listen to my wife's testimony. I have felt so many things sitting there. I have felt tremendous pride and overwhelming love for Cass. I have felt profound anger that she has been subjected to sitting in front of a person who tried to break her. So, to him and all of those who helped him along the way, please know this: you did not. You did not break her spirit nor her smile that lights up every room. You did not break the souls of a mother who gives the best hugs and plays the silliest games with our little girls. You did not break the woman who has made me a better man. I did not save Cassie, as some have said. To say that is an I did not save Cassie, as some have said. To say that is an insult to the years of painful work my wife has done to save herself. Cassie saved Cassie. She alone broke free from abuse, coercion, violence, and threats. She did the work of fighting the demons that only a demon himself could have done to her. All I have done is love her as she has loved me. Her life is now surrounded by love, laughter, and our family. This horrific chapter is forever put behind us, and we will not be making additional statements. We appreciate all of the love and support we have received, and we ask that you respect our privacy as we welcome our son into a world that is now safer because of his mom. I did not save Cassie, as some have said.
Yep, so that is Don Richards, who's going to court to testify for Friday. And so, and then also, yeah, so one of the reasons that they wanted to testify Cassie first is because that she's pregnant, and I feel like as they say that she's probably be due in a couple weeks because he's like 8 months going to 9 months pregnant, so her baby is due in the next couple weeks or so. So that one of the reasons they want to get Cassie out the way to testify because she was pregnant.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay,
So,
now that makes sense.
so go ahead, Ronnie. Any comments on the Cassie, Diddy, or also Cassie husband because Cassie husband he was in and witnessing everything.
Cassie, your husband, he was just being very supportive, even though the judge asked the prosecutor, they didn't want him there in the courtroom because they knew it was going to be a very uncomfortable situation. Because remember, that's her ex-boyfriend who she been around with, like 13 years since she was like a teenager. So just imagine the emotional stress he was been dealing with. Just listen to the courtroom, listen what was happening when it came to aspect of this freak off. Listen to the aspect of Cassidy still linking up with P. Diddy on the side while they was together. You get what I mean? You get what I mean? So just imagine, put yourself in his shoes. You were like, he took a risk. Now would it have strange on their marriage? Hakeem and Jordan? I don't know. I mean, I don't know because think about it. While they're together, she was still doing her thing with Diddy. You get what I'm saying? So it's, and I heard that to see the image of your wife.
I want to add this too. Remember, Cassie's husband was the personal trainer of Diddy as well.
Correct. I remember that. Yeah. So, man, oh boy. So I know he right now. That's good. It took Cassie down first. I'm just Dawn being there. I'm being honest. She ain't really gonna have much to say. Now Aubrey, yes, yes, that's what the people want. Aubrey is gonna speak. She gonna spill the beans. You get what I mean? So she gonna Dawn. But Aubrey, remember, he had a relationship with Aubrey, so that's the one. Everybody gonna be like, she gonna talk that talk. Go right ahead, Hakeem. Your thoughts?
I agree with everything you say, man. I do think that this was a very challenging time. I know people's perception of this case and Diddy, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to be very objective. I still just got a weird feeling that he might beat this case.
I'm with you. They was
I
just
got a
focusing
weird
more on the
feeling
freak
like
off. That's all.
they focus on the free calls, and I don't see. I'm wondering how they're gonna prove the trafficking side and stuff like that, and all of this. I know they're trying to teach him a lesson, but this just I just got that feeling.
No, Chase, that's not his baby.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start with Cassie's husband and everything. So I personally think when it comes to Cassie, I think that he knew what he was getting into with Cassie before when they got together. He knew that when soon as he got with Cassie, she knew he was gonna mess with. I think the part how power and the money and fame that Diddy has, and also how long the relationship Cassie's been with Diddy. I think his husband kind of figured that that she might mess around with Diddy a couple of times when they're together and everything. And I know being a husband there, but I was hearing I was hearing this too from a source, a blogger who was in the courtroom, that the Cassie text messages of the nasty text message he sends with Diddy and everything. They say he sent like he was face first into the screen of him looking at all the nasty stuff he sent to Diddy and everything. And at a husband, I know that hurts. They say he was like red, and it's just like you don't want to see that stuff come for your wife and everything. The woman that you had kids with, and then be pregnant and everything. But as for husband, he's being there, and they got money too. So that's probably what it is and everything. And then when it comes to with the Diddy and everything, and also his defense team, there to me he has how they cross-examining Cassie, and I think how they gonna cross-examine Don Richards and also Aubrey Day or any other witnesses gonna come out. It just tells me that Diddy has a great chance to either beat this case, or if he gets some time, it won't be a lot of time, because I feel like Diddy's attorneys is gonna cross-examine us so well that when it comes to the jury who's watching and everything, I feel like the jury is gonna look at the prosecutors and feel like your case is not strong enough to put Diddy in jail. And Diddy's attorneys are they look like all stars right now. There's like I said, like yesterday, the Diddy's defense did a good job. And so and then once Diddy's attorneys cross-examine Don Richards, maybe on a Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that, they're gonna have a plan to really do their job to kind of tell the jury, say, hey, there's not enough evidence to put Diddy in prison or anything like that. So, but like I said, this is a long process. We still gonna have more info for you guys. So this is, like I said, this is day 5, and then we won't have nothing else till Monday coming up until Don Richards do everything else and everything. But right now, how I'm looking right now, Diddy is Diddy has a shot of still winning this case and everything, unless another witness come out and they the prosecutors show strong evidence of putting racketeering charges and racketeering charges and also trafficking against Diddy. But like I said, we'll see.
And now that I also heard too, not heard but read that the judge was also getting frustrated with the prosecutors because they kept focusing more on the free call and then actually focus on what Diddy actually did when it came to aspect of racketeering.
Correct.
So the judge was also getting Hakeem and Joy. He was actually getting frustrated with the prosecution. So let's see what happens. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side so you never miss it when we go live. Shout out to the 220 people watching us all across the board. We really do greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Freestyle Friday. Moving along to money. Money make the world go round, and money makes our pockets fat. Jordan, what's going on when it comes to aspect of the financial news?
So let's get into it. So let's talk about Walmart. So we all love Walmart, shopping there, but according to Walmart CEO, they said they're going to raise their prices due to tariffs. So when it comes to Walmart is probably one of the biggest grocery stores to shop at, and other people to shop at. It's definitely going to change the game by raising their prices, and that's going to affect a lot of people. So go ahead, King, play the clip, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Some of the breaking news coming in. Walmart, the world's largest retailer, is issuing a new warning today, warning the company will have to raise prices due to President Trump's tariffs. The company's CEO, Doug McMillon, is expected to tell analysts this on an earnings call today. I'll read you a quote as they sent out excerpts ahead of time. "We will do our best to keep our prices as low as possible, but given the magnitude of the tariffs, even at the reduced levels announced this week, we aren't able to absorb all the pressure given the reality of narrow retail margins." Walmart said the prices will begin to go up later this month, and the hikes could put the company also in an uncomfortable position, if you will, with the Trump administration. You'll remember last month, the White House publicly shamed Jeff Bezos and also threatened Mattel's CEO with 100% tariffs after they said tariffs would lead to higher prices. Compare this news today with what Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick told CNN's Dana Bash just on Sunday.
So we do expect a 10% baseline tariff to be in place for the foreseeable future, but don't buy the silly arguments that the U.S. consumer pays.
Joining me right now is Rick Newman, senior columnist with Yahoo Finance. It's good to see you, Rick. Okay, so what do you make, first and foremost, of the statement from Walmart?
None of this is surprising. The cost of goods is going up. These tariffs are a tax on something like $3 trillion worth of imports. So what's going to happen is, as the cost goes up to the importers such as Walmart and most retailers, they are going to pass as much of that cost on to end users as they can. This is not what the level of the taxes is. It's about 30% on most stuff coming in from China. It's 25% on imported automobiles and auto parts. It's 25% on steel and aluminum. And for everything that's not covered by any of those, it's 10%. So that, more or less, is going to be the magnitude of the price hikes on these products that are coming in from other countries. And we know where these price hikes are going to show up as well. There's been a lot of analysis on this. We're going to see cars are going to get more expensive, car parts are going to get more expensive, car insurance is going to get more expensive, leather goods such as handbags are going to get more expensive, clothing, electronics, appliances. And we're going to hear more CEOs saying this because if you run a publicly owned company, you have an obligation to your shareholders to tell them what's going on with costs. So what's probably going to happen is we're going to see price hikes across the board from basically all retailers. So if Trump wants to go after them, he's going to go after all of them en masse instead of just picking off one or two the way he did earlier with Amazon.
You know, Republican Congressman Andy Barr, who's a big supporter of Trump's trade policy, was on with John just last hour and was asked about this Walmart news. And essentially his case was still to say short-term pain, long-term gain. Let me play this.
Walmart will lower prices in the long run. Prices will come down lower in the long run because we're going to get better deals. This trade policy is creating massive opportunities, and we're back in a bull market because of the developments that are happening in the trade negotiations.
What do you think of that, Rick?
That's economically illogical. So the trade deals that Trump is trying to get, the concessions he's trying to get are, to the extent he's getting any or they make any sense, are to make it more favorable to get American products into foreign markets where there are barriers. That makes sense, but that is not going to do anything to lower costs in the United States. And if Trump actually gets his wish, which is that we just start making all this stuff in the United States, it's going to get even more expensive than if it comes in from other countries with the tariffs, simply because labor costs are much higher here, manufacturing costs are much higher. It just costs more to make stuff in the United States. So if you think that this manufacturing renaissance is a good idea, it is not going to come with lower prices by definition. It's going to come with higher prices permanently. So you have to accept that trade-off.
Well, we know that when it came to baby dolls and pencils and strollers, that the president basically called it small ball. But let's see if what his reaction is to Walmart saying this, if he still thinks products coming out of the world's largest retailer Feels like small ball. It's good to see you, Rick. Thanks for jumping on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so there you have it. Walmart's gonna be raising their prices. So
Breaking.
I'm sorry with you, Ronnie. Is this a big deal?
Big, beautiful bill just failed to make it out
Walmart?
of a key committee. 5
Can you
Republicans
stop it?
jumped ship and joined.
Hold on, I'm trying
No,
to.
it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Go right
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead, Ronnie, man. Is this a big deal when it comes to Walmart? People going to Walmart and
Yes, it is a big deal because remember, people go to Walmart because of cheap prices. They never go to Walmart because it's expensive, becoming like Costco, Whole Foods, or other retail stores that on Target that's raising their prices. That's why people always go to Walmart. Walmart right now is in our local communities. People, it's cost efficient. So you have people that's not able to afford certain things go to Walmart and they can get that famous TV they like for $79.99. Now they're gonna raise it up to $150. You're gonna lose customers. You're gonna lose customers. So our customers gonna find somewhere else to go. Will it hurt them in the long term? No, because they're gonna eventually realize that they're losing customers, and for them to bring their customers back, they gotta lower these prices or have more sales on certain products. Now we know like Walmart are very strong when it comes to their distributors from China. However, they gotta find something because they're gonna lose a lot. They're gonna lose a lot of customers because of this. Go right ahead, King.
No, definitely. I think if we're looking at this from an economical point, you just said it too. And people got to understand it's just pure economics. The less it costs to make it, the less you can sell it. The more it costs to make it, the more you're going to have to sell it with the price. So we look at it from this, but it'll be interesting to see how this goes in the next coming years to see how really we are affected by the tariffs and stuff. But people got to understand in other places like China and stuff like that, they make majority of their things and the prices there are not expensive, but the labor cost is low. Here, people are not working for $2 an hour, $3 an hour. So look at it. We have to look at it. All these things are connected.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very curious. Like I said, where they gonna raise prices on in Walmart? And it just shows people, when they go shopping, you just got shop smarter and everything. And it's really look like what you can afford and everything. If you're single or you have a family household, with a couple kids and everything, you just gotta really be about smart what you're doing and everything. And then also not just look at Walmart, there's other grocery stores, that might have a better price than Walmart and everything, because I'm the type of person, if there's, if I can find go to another store and find a better deal and get something I can get from that, I'm definitely doing that, and I always been that type of way, and just hopefully, people, you guys be the same, if you see something, another store that might be cheaper than Walmart, go ahead and get it, just figure out a way, save some money and just be prepared for it.
Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side so you never miss it. When we go live, shout out to everybody watching us all across the board. We really do greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Freestyle Friday. Moving along. Jordan, what's going on in New Orleans?
Yeah, so we found out today that out of 11 when it comes to New Orleans jail, they say 11 men has escaped and they are considered largely dangerous. They have captured one, but there are 10 men that are still at large as we speak. So people start saying this was an inside job. That's why 11 of them tried to escape. But let's go into the video. So go ahead, Hakeem, play the clip.
Another story that's breaking this hour, one person caught and 10 still on the loose after escaping from a New Orleans jail. That jail now on lockdown amid a massive manhunt across the area. The Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office says that 11 inmates had escaped from the Orleans Justice Center. It happened this morning when a head count revealed that the inmates were missing. The jail is located about 2 miles from Bourbon Street. Officials now urging the community to use extreme caution, warning that these 10 inmates who are still on the loose should be considered armed and dangerous, and you do not want to get anywhere close to them. Let's bring in our Maria Villarreal. She's tracking it. What are police saying at this hour?
You know, Kira, there's a lot of information that is still unknown coming from law enforcement. Obviously, we know that this happened this morning, as you mentioned. Right now, all local law enforcement have been notified to be on the lookout. But there was a press conference that just happened not too long ago, and it was ended very quickly without a whole lot of information being given to local media and local, people that were there from the public about exactly how this could have happened. And why it was that they didn't alert the public for several hours after really recognizing that this had happened, that this escape had happened, that so many people had been that had gotten out. What we do know also that is that one of the inmates has been caught, but there still are several other out on the loose right now. And their charges is what people really want to know about. What exactly were they in jail for? What should people be aware of?
So what do we know about the search area? Is there a certain region or part of New Orleans or outside of New Orleans where police are focusing on now?
I think that is definitely the case. As of right now, they have alerted, the entire state just as a major precaution, right? That's normal in these types of situations because you never know where these inmates might have family, where they might go in order to try and be protected, to try and hide themselves, obviously. But what is very concerning to the public, I've spoken with a number of restaurant association people in the region in New Orleans, near Bourbon Street especially. I asked them, have they been alerted? They said, yes, they do know about this, but only by local media reports. Obviously, they are getting a better idea of who these people are. Clearly, this jail is not that far from Bourbon Street and where we see a lot of tourism in the New Orleans area. So as of right now, a lot of these local organizations are sharing this information amongst themselves to be on high alert, especially after what we saw in January. They don't want to take any risk right now. They're being extra cautious with their own security to make sure they are prepared in case local law enforcement is out in other parts of the city and county and the parishes, for example, trying to find these guys.
All right. In the meantime, here we are.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. They had 11 men escape, and they caught one with 11 still at large. So go ahead, Ronnie. Who is responsible for this?
Who else gonna be responsible? Is the jailhouse? You have 11 men that escaped and only captured one, and people still don't know what was the charges for. Hopefully, it's not really like a very heinous crime, because if it is a very heinous crime, then I think you need to let the public know. But if it's not, I think that's why they figure it's not really that much a severe crime, because they knew it was very heinous. They knew the people was gonna panic. So therefore, them allowing this to happen, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen at all. And New Orleans dropped the ball on that one. Go right ahead, Hakeem.
Yeah, I do think this is kind of a rarity because I haven't heard of prison inmates escaping in a while. So this is what do I really learn to know how did they get out. But I'm have a strong feeling that all these guys are going to get locked up soon. But it has to be an inside job because they made a lot of improvements since Katrina. So this is kind of wild.
Yeah, if I'm deputy police case, I'm doing a serious investigation. First of all, I'm trying to find these jailbirds and putting it back. The next day, I'm doing a serious investigation of what was involved. So whoever was involved, I can fire them immediately, because stuff like this, you rarely hear something happen like this in any city or any state like this, especially in a jail like this. So yeah, man, this is funny to me. I definitely think it's an inside job, and when it comes to the chief, do a serious investigation, and then whoever you get, you fire her immediately, because this situation like this should never happen. You got like 11 people who went on the loose. They called one, but you still got 10 people still at large at this moment. So yeah, I'm police chief. Get those people and do a serious investigation immediately.
Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side so you never miss it when we go live. Final topic on today's show. Jordan, what's going on with the historical plantation?
Yeah, so the historic Northern Way plantation, It's a very, very historical. It was burned down this morning, and it ripped through everything, and it got so. I mean, it's so historical that it went viral, and so it's just, it has definitely had history, strong history. So go ahead, clean play the clip, and then after that, we will chop it up.
Good evening, I'm John Snell.
And I'm Lauren McCoy. One of Louisiana's most historic plantations erupts into flames.
Nottoway caught fire about 2 this afternoon. Its roof collapsed a little over an hour ago. Andres Fuentes is live there where firefighters have been struggling as they battle the flames.
Lauren, John, we've been out here for maybe 15 minutes or so thus far, and the fire presence, the sheriff's office presence, still very high here as they're trying to monitor some of the hot spots and even put out some significant flames in the front portion of this plantation. I'm going to step out of the way, give you guys a live look right now. Now, this is smoke that you can see from across the river. That's how significant this fire has been, and like we said, they have been fighting this fire for quite some time. It's creeping up to the 7th hour here. Crews have been working, trying their best to navigate parts of the roof that did collapse and navigate sort of the historical structures and columns here in the front, as you can see. But again, very significant police and fire presence out here as they're monitoring the situation. We did see a number of different fire crews switch on out, be replaced with fresh fire crews just to monitor the situation. But again, they have been battling this for almost half a day, or I should say almost half a work day, right? 7 hours now going through. And Dylan, if we can kind of point again toward this plantation, because every time we look away and we look back, we start to see some of those flames flare up yet again, as you can see here at the front portion of the plantation. But we know thus far from officials is that they believe that this fire started in the south portion of this property. That's where there is a museum. They said that around 2 o'clock this afternoon, some workers were going through the facility and they noticed smoke there in the area. They left the area to go alert some of the other staffers. When they came back, that's when they saw the flames really spark about. As of right now, officials don't know how this fire started, but as soon as it started, it seems to just erupt here at this old plantation, one that is one of the largest antebellum plantations in the south, with roots that date back from the 1850s. Now, we do know from officials is that the owner of this property was in the midst of trying to renovate the property, bringing up that back to a more historical code. We don't know, again, if those renovations caused this fire, but again, just recapping, we do have a fire here at this plantation going on in its 7th hour here in White Castle, Louisiana. But for now, putting live on the Des Moines, Fox 8, Local First.
Yeah, so some quick facts.
I want to thank you all for being here. I want to speak directly.
Yeah, so some quick facts for you guys. This house was used all the way back to the Civil War days. So this house is very, very old. It has some very historical history. So go ahead, Rodney, man. What's your take?
It was rumored that they are trying to burn every historical monument down to the ground. I thought it was a joke until I saw this. So is it showing that they're trying to cover up and get rid of all the historical monuments that bring back all the way to slavery to show that people was not slaves? I find it to be very, very alarming. People not paying attention to what's being presented before you. You better do, because a lot of our historical monuments are getting burned to the ground. Go ahead, Akeem.
I agree with you, man. I do think that a lot of people are very shaken up by the past, and they don't want to revisit that. So they want to create this image that this is not here, but you can never erase it. So they're gonna have to live with it.
Yeah, so me, I always want to go visit. I never visited New Orleans lab because I always want to visit, plantations, the slave quarters like that, and seeing this, the historical has the historical value that it has and everything, and just to see stuff like that burnt down, it's I mean, I don't want to say it's devastating, but it's definitely burning down American history. Definitely burning down American history. And Ronnie, you are correct when you say when it comes to these historical venues, plantation and everything, they started to burn stuff down like this, and it started out with one of the biggest plantations in the South. So yeah, so I want to know. I hope they do investigation and see how the fire started and everything. But if they try to keep it a hush hush, you might never know. But yeah, man, sad to see it. Sad to see a historical venue burnt down like that.
Cause think about it, this generation, they don't read. Remember, they said all the information gonna be in books. So if they burn monuments to the ground, people are like, okay, it never existed. Think about it. This is remember, Jordan. This is for your kids' generation, my kids' generation, Hakeem's kids' generation. If they burn these monuments to the ground, being people are like, oh, slavery never happened, then y'all making it all up. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Like always, shout out to everybody watching us all across the board. Hassan, thank you so much for being here. Big Dog, No Chaser. Also in the building, Wahao, who's also in the building. The lovely Bobby Bynum, who's also in the building. And shout out to the 228 people in total watching our live stream on the Freestyle Friday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out to Lily, was also watching us on Instagram. Shout out to Facebook, Instagram, Kick, Twitch, Rumble, X. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this Freestyle Friday, guys. It's also very, very important that you go to KL Culture Radio description. In the description where you can find the KL Culture Radio store, where we have the KL Culture Radio hat, the coffee mug, the sweaters, you name it. It's all in the KL Culture Radio store, and it's also on top of the chat as well. Guys, make sure it's also very important you go to KL Culture Radio community tab. In the community tab where you can find Prince Hakeem's book, Black Love, and also Raising Kings, out now. So guys, go ahead, guys, get your copy. Go ahead and support this black author right below us. Go ahead, make him the biggest author on the planet. And also, guys, his album is out too as well. Remember, on the back is a QR code. Click on it. It's going to lead you guys right over to the album. So you'll go ahead and listen to it. His single video is about to get ready to draw. So guys, be on the lookout for that, because we're going to premiere it here on KL Culture Radio. But like, man, shout out to you guys. Y'all making KL Culture Radio the biggest thing on the planet. Everybody know the New York Knicks and the Boston game is playing right now. So I know everybody's excited about that. So like always, thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio Freestyle Friday. We over and out.
Peace.